Hey everyone, welcome back to School Never Teach. Today we're tackling something society is obsessed with: weaknesses. You know those so-called flaws you're told to fix or improve on? Well, what if I told you those weaknesses might actually be your greatest strengths? That's right. I'll show you how a simple mindset shift can turn what you see as flaws into your unfair advantage. Let's dive in. Point number 1, weaknesses as social constructs. Let's start with a bit of a philosophy check. What if some of our weaknesses aren't real flaws but perceived ones? What if they're just inventions by society? Imagine someone tells you you're too sensitive. In some cultures, that's seen as a problem. But what if that sensitivity makes you an amazing artist, a compassionate friend, or someone who can empathize with others deeply? The world needs that sensitivity. Take another example. Maybe you're not classically beautiful, or you feel society considers you plain or even ugly. Who decided that was a weakness? Think of how many comedians, actors, artists, and even fashion icons stand out precisely because they don't fit conventional beauty standards. The lack of fitting in gives them a look, a charisma, or an approach that others don't have. These so-called flaws become their brand. Often what society sees as a weakness could just be a mismatch with its current norm, a limiting one-size-fits-all lens that we may be better off ignoring. Point number 2, flaws as rarity. Weaknesses often reflect a different way of seeing the world. Maybe you're overly cautious and people say you need to loosen up. But that caution could mean you're detail-oriented, strategic, and someone who notices risks others overlook. You're not just a cautious person who wastes time fussing over unnecessary specifics. You're a human risk detector, potentially a brilliant project manager, or the steady voice in chaotic times. Sometimes, what seems like a negative trait is just a powerful, rare lens that lets you spot things others miss. That's not a weakness. That's a perspective that offers insights that others fail to notice. Point number 3, inadequacies as fresh perspective. Maybe you're interested in a new job, but it's in a different field from your background, and you second-guess yourself, being quite sure you won't make it past the interview. Here's the thing. Your different background can be your superpower. You bring fresh ideas, unburdened by the stale routines of those stuck in the same job for years. Once you think of it that way, your lack of prior experience becomes an asset. Plus, the skills and contacts you do have might bring something new to the organization. It's precisely your weakness that gives you the edge. Point number 4, weaknesses as a social magnet. Here's the truth. The more human you are, flaws and all, the more people will feel connected to you. If you're terrible at remembering names, for instance, you might see that as a flaw, but it's relatable. People will see you as human, approachable, and real, not some flawless robot. Authenticity is what people are after. Someone they can trust, who doesn't pretend to be perfect. This weakness can end up being the secret sauce that makes people want to work with you, learn from you, and trust you because they can see themselves in you. Point number 5, failures as uniqueness. Finally, your personal failings can make you stand out in the crowd. A world full of perfect people sounds boring. But a person who brings a different set of quirks, that's memorable. Imagine a candidate who owns up to their weirdness, like having a crazy attention to detail or an obsession with organizing things. It's that unique angle that gets them noticed in job applications, business pitches, and even in personal life. Instead of competing to be another cookie-cutter version of perfect, let's lean into our so-called weaknesses and make them our USP, our unique selling proposition. Those quirky, unconventional skills give you an edge that no one else has. That is your unfair advantage. So, next time you catch yourself obsessing over your weaknesses, remember this. They might just be your superpowers in disguise. Rather than spending all your time trying to fix them, why not leverage them? Flip the script by realizing that perceived flaws could simply be a matter of social perception, a rare trait that brings fresh angles, makes you socially disarming, and sets you apart. Weaknesses aren't obstacles. They may be superpowers you never knew you had. Thanks for watching, and please share in the comments below any unique strengths you've discovered in something you once thought was a weakness. See you in the next episode of School Never Teach.